right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Elluminate session for biology. Today we're looking at ecological relationships. You'll remember from our last lesson that ecology is the study of the relationships among organisms and their environments. So when an ecologist begins to look at an area, they may look at different levels of organization in order to see what kinds of interactions are taking place. Now, some ecologists may start out by looking at just the most specific of the levels of organization, in this case, an organism. And so we're going to use for our example a crocodile. Now, if you were an ecologist in this area, you might look at what this crocodile eats, where it lives, how big it gets, different things like that that would be specific just to that organism. Now, different ecologists are going to be interested in looking at the next level of organization, which is called the population. And a population in ecology is a group of the same species that lives in one area. So in this case, we would be looking at the population of alligators that live in this area. Now, Sarah, if you were the ecologist in this area and you were going to look at the population of crocodiles, what kinds of things do you think you might look at? Go ahead and grab the mic.
I'm thinking something like how many crocodiles live in the area, maybe how close they live to each other, mating habits.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's exactly what you would look at. Good. Now, if we were going to go up another level of organization, an ecologist might look at the community. And a community is going to be all of the different living things that exist in an environment. So it would include our population of crocodiles, and it would also include all of the fish, all of the birds, and all of the plants that live in an area. Anything that is alive that you could look at in this area, it would be included. Oh, Johnny, that's a really good question. Johnny's asking, how do you tell the difference between crocodiles and alligators? Well, the best way to do it, and probably the quickest way, is to look at the mouth of the crocodile or alligator. And in our picture here, you'll see that when the mouth is closed on a crocodile, you can still see their teeth. If this was an alligator, when it closed its mouth, you would not be able to see its teeth. So there's lots of different ways that you can tell the difference between the two, but this is probably the quickest and the most well-known way. So did that clear it up? Is everybody clear on that? If you're okay, give me a smiley face. All right. Fantastic. Let's take a look at our next level here. Okay, if we go up another level, some other ecologists are going to look at an ecosystem. And on the ecosystem level, we look at not only the things that are alive in an area, but also the non-living things. So the climate, the soil, the water, the rocks, and so on. So Johnny, let's go back to you here. If you were the ecologist in this area, and you were studying the ecosystem, what kinds of things do you think you might look at?
How the animal affects the plants and how they react to the weather.
Oh, that's great. You're definitely on the right track. They would look at how the climate affects the animals and the plants. They'd also look at things like how the quality and quantity of water interacts with what can live there, and how the quality of the soil affects plants, and different things like that. Good. So finally, our largest level of organization that we're going to look at is called the biome. And this is going to be a really large region, and it's typified by the climate conditions in the area, and also the type of plants that can live in that area. Now, ecologists that are at this level look at the health of the biome. They'd be interested in seeing if the biome is growing or shrinking. They would look at things like species protection, if they had any endangered species in the area, or they might also watch out for the threats of invasive species, anything that's going to affect that larger area. And there's lots of different biomes, but most of them can be grouped into one of 8 different types. Remember that they're characterized by the plant life and the climate in the area. So let's take a look at some of the characteristics of the desert biome, and I have a video clip to share with you for that.
Noon in the Sonoran Desert, southern Arizona. Temperature, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. In places, as little as an inch of rain falls all year. The air has no moisture to shield against the midday heat or retain it after dark. The plants here have survived the
All right, so that gives you a little bit of a glimpse into the desert biome and its climate and its plant life. Now, just to make sure nobody drifted off during the movie here, let's do a quick quiz question. An ecologist studying how the number of trout in a stream changes from one year to the next is studying at the what kind of level? Would it be the organism level, the population level, or the community level? And go ahead and use your polling tools to select your answer. Wow, lots of answers coming in very quickly. Good job. Let's take a look and see what people thought. All right, you can see from our poll that most of you are thinking the answer might be letter C. Let's see what the right answer is. In this case, it's going to be letter B, the population. Remember that a population is all of one type of species that live in an area. Yeah, Sarah wins. Woohoo! Go Sarah. Okay, now let's get back into our lesson and look at some different biome types.